Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, a man is dead after a shooting in Durham, where officials are focusing their investigation, entering now its 9th hour.
And tracking road conditions this foggy morning, you're taking a live look at downtown Raleigh via the WRAL Storm Tracker. We'll check in with Kelsey Coffey, and Ken Smith will tell us about any trouble spots ahead of your morning commute.
Plus, a community in mourning. People in Madison, Wisconsin are leaning on one another after that deadly school shooting there, where police are searching to find the suspected shooter's motive. Straight up 8 o'clock right now on a Wednesday morning, midweek point here. I'm Jeff Hogan. So happy that you're with us here.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey, and you straight up can't see anything in Dix Park right now. We are under that dense fog advisory. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is outside, and you can even see the fog behind you in the gardens there.
Right, so I'm standing here where I'm not really feeling it, but if I were to walk into the parking lot behind us, I'd start to get a little bit of mist. In fact, Fayetteville, you can't miss it right now. Very dense fog, that advisory in effect until 10 o'clock this morning. What's interesting is that visibility here outside the TV station is very limited, but you go to the airport and it's 3 miles. So it really is a game of miles out here. Very thick in Southern Pines, Clinton, and parts of Rocky Mountain, South Hill. That's why that advisory is in effect until 10 o'clock this morning. Some of us may not clear out until 11 o'clock. Hour by hour, once we see the fog clearing, that's when temperatures are really going to start to rise. High temperatures make it to near 70 degrees this afternoon. So definitely feeling like spring. We've got some showers on the way. We'll time those out and show you when Arctic air arrives coming up in just a little bit. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That dense fog advisory indicated from this live cam shot of I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can barely make out the traffic. Those westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. We also have the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the roads. Kelsey Coffey giving us a first-hand account of what she's been seeing this morning. Kelsey, you're in downtown Raleigh this morning. Set the scene where you are.
Ken, so right now we are in downtown Raleigh. We'll give you a live look now at road conditions here. So we saw a lot of fog coming into downtown from Fuquay Marina. We couldn't even see the skyline. It was covered in fog. So this is something that's going to impact your visibility on your morning drive. Slow down, be careful. We know that Northampton County Schools, they will have a delayed opening this morning because of all of this fog that's outside. So be careful out there as you are headed out on your morning drive. But Ken, can you tell folks about any trouble spots this morning?
Yeah, we do have a few troubled spots as we come back here live into the WRAL Traffic Center, because you can see where the fog is most dense in the red and orange shaded areas this morning. A couple of incidents that just popped up in the last few minutes. There were a couple of incidents right here on just the entrance ramp to the Beltline, but we're not seeing any issues there. That cleared in the last few seconds that we were standing here, which is good news. We do have a disabled vehicle on I-40 eastbound near South Saunders. We're not picking up any delays in that particular area, but I'm seeing the traffic beginning to build behind that disabled vehicle. I'll keep an eye on that and let you know how much that's going to continue to affect your morning commute. We had a couple of instances happening in northern Wake County. One just cleared, but this one is still active at Falls of Noose Road in the southbound lane near Litchford Road. We're not seeing any problems in that particular area, but watch this watch for some police activity if you happen to be in that vicinity. Here are the drive times in terms of coming into the capital city this morning. You're looking at a 9-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest. It's a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale this morning. Things are definitely beginning to pick up on US 1. You're looking at a 5-minute delay, and of course, in the I-40 eastbound, just a 3-minute delay. You're getting ready to head to the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Thank you, Ken. Breaking news in Durham. A man is dead after a shooting at an apartment complex. It happened after 11 o'clock last night on South Roxborough Street. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Nick, police still there 9 hours later.
Michelle, and I can tell you, as the sun has started to come up, you can see some of the destruction left behind at this crime scene as people are leaving their houses. Just seeing the large amounts of crime scene tape behind me. I do want to get you to this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This is from last night, and you can see here the crime scene tape blocking off this entire parking lot as investigators shine their flashlights on the buildings and the cars nearby. We do know that one man was shot and killed last night at around 11, And we also know that at this point in time, the Durham Police Department is still looking to find out what exactly led up to this shooting and who potentially fired those gunshots last night. We're going to keep asking for more information, and as we get new details, we'll be sure to update you. Live in Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Starting this morning, your commute to downtown Raleigh could be a little easier now. At midnight, the ramp from I-440 west to Wade Avenue into the city finally opened again. Take a look at this map. You can see exactly where the new ramp is located, with drivers now able to take the Wade Avenue East exit for the first time in years. It's part of the I-440 ongoing widening project that's happening there. It'll add lanes to improve the traffic flow from south of Walnut Street in Cary to north of Wade Avenue in Raleigh. And when it's finished, there will be 3 lanes in each direction, east and west, and 3 new bridges as well. At last check, the entire 440 widening project is set to be completed next fall.
People in Wisconsin are coming together after the school shooting there on Monday. Hundreds gathered at the Wisconsin Capitol building to pray for the victims and comfort one another. A teacher and a student died in that shooting. The 15-year-old girl police say committed the shooting also died after apparently shooting herself. We are learning more about that girl, Natalie Rupp now, who went by the name Samantha. Police say they are looking into her online activity. Authorities confirm they are aware of a document circulating online that some people are calling the shooter's manifesto. They say they could not yet verify it and ask people to refrain from sharing it. 2 students who were hurt remain in critical condition.
This morning, a convicted murderer is on the run in North Carolina. 47-year-old Latego Marshall was out on bond after being charged in a 2017 murder in Burlington. He also has drug charges pending in Durham. During a lunch break in his trial last week in Alamance County, Marshall disappeared. The jury later reached a guilty verdict. Police in Burlington are asking anyone who knows where he may be to call 911. Jurors will be back in court this morning to deliberate the fate of a Raleigh store owner accused of murdering a customer. Yesterday, jurors wanted to get another look at the surveillance video. They also asked the judge if Tazir Zarka, the store owner, had a right to search Mark Garrity's bag. Zarka claims Garrity was trying to steal a Gatorade.
You're looking live at the U.S. Capitol right now, where Congress is working to avoid a government shutdown. The deadline is Friday night. As Amy Kiley reports, last night lawmakers unveiled a massive new spending bill that would fund the government into the spring.
Time is of the essence to pass this bill before the December 20th deadline.
It looks like lawmakers will once again avoid a government shutdown. That's after leaders unveiled a stopgap spending plan last night. It appears to have bipartisan support in both chambers.
We worked really hard to achieve consensus on a bill that responsibly funds the government into March of next year.
The bill moves the funding deadline from Friday to March 14th. It also provides almost $100 billion in disaster aid. Much of that is for FEMA's Relief Fund, the Small Business Administration's Disaster Loan Program, and assistance for farmers.
It's a cramney bus, we're kind of calling it, right? Because they're cramming everything into it.
Many Republicans sound frustrated the continuing resolution does more than just continue the status quo.
They got a bunch of garbage they want to pass, so they'll attach emergency things to it.
Several also object to the timing. They want at least 72 hours to read the bill before a vote. Others in the GOP complain they didn't have enough input on the deal.
The whole point of our debate 2 years ago about the Speaker and about what we do on the floor of the House is to open it up, not close it.
Some Republicans blame their frustration on the lawmaking system. Others blame House Speaker Mike Johnson. He faces a leadership vote in January.
We'll see about January 3rd.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And it's also not clear how much of that disaster relief funding could be coming to North Carolina to help with the after effects of Hurricane Helene. New data from the state budget office puts the total cost of Helene's damage in North Carolina at nearly $60 billion. And that includes $13.5 billion for houses damaged or destroyed by the storm. The report also shows more than 2,500 businesses still waiting for federal Small Business Administration loans.
A woman is dead after a crash in Moore County on a stretch of road that has seen several serious collisions recently. This is video here of 15501 at PD Road in Aberdeen. Investigators say a tractor trailer was turning onto 15501 when a car slammed into it, ending up underneath that trailer. The driver of the car died at the scene. This is the third crash on this stretch of road in the last 3 weeks. On November 30th, a person was killed and 2 others were airlifted to a hospital after a crash. And November 26th, 5 people were injured in a crash involving 3 cars.
The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson will face an extradition hearing in Pennsylvania tomorrow. Luigi Mangione says he will not fight extradition to New York. Yesterday, Mangione was indicted on numerous charges in New York, including first-degree murder and murder in the second degree as a crime of terrorism. If convicted of first-degree murder, he could get 20 years to life in prison. Investigators say he appeared to have been driven by anger against the health insurance industry when police say he shot and killed Thompson in Manhattan earlier this month.
Attempted Walmart kidnapping, where the search stands for a man accused of trying to grab a girl from a busy parking lot.
Also, creating art from debris. How a pair of artists were inspired to create again after they survived Helene's destruction.
And we continue to track some really dense fog, although it's not quite that thick at RDU. Here outside the TV station, you can practically touch it. I'll show you when the fog finally lets up, coming up in just a bit.
.13 is the time right now, and that is a live look. Somewhere in there is North Hills. Trust me, it is in there, and it is foggy just about everywhere. No matter where you go, it's affecting the roads, it's affecting all of our camera views pretty much. Even if we just step out back where Chris Michaels is in the garden there, you can still see that fog hanging on here. A couple more hours, right?
Yeah, in fact, it's probably going to be 10, 10:30, even 11 o'clock. I'm looking to my right here, and I can see the sun peeking through a little bit, so it's trying to break through the fog. It's just going to take some time. Meanwhile, 50 degrees, visibility at RDU is not bad, so it is localized. Once we get rid of the fog, and again, it's going to take some time, temperatures will start to gradually make their way to about 70 degrees in the Triangle. So another spring feel today. Roxborough 66, Fayetteville 72 degrees. If you're a fan of that warm weather, enjoy it for today. It's in short supply. We've got a warm front that's drifting to the north. That's part of what helps that warm air creep in even after the fog gets out of here. And it paves the way for that cold front, that line of blue looking teeth that you see there. The air, it rises along that front. That, along with the warmth and increasing moisture, leads to the chance for scattered showers, even some thunderstorms between about 7 p.m. and midnight. Morning commute tomorrow looks to be good for us, but if you were to go farther toward the coast, that's where it's going to get a little rough, especially during the early morning hours on Thursday. That's cold front number 1. Cold front number 2 comes in this weekend, and you see there's a bigger dip in the jet stream, which allows colder air from Canada to come down. Saturday will be cold. Sunday and Monday will be even colder. But it looks like that cold air retreats back to the North Pole just in time for Christmas Day. Looking at some average temperatures, and we're at least dry for part of Christmas Day. May start to see some showers coming into the mix later in the day. So an early look at Christmas. Christmas Eve is cold, 47 but dry. Christmas Day for now, we're going to keep our high temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Still have 7 days to go, so make sure you're checking back for updates. In terms of the next 7 days, there you see temperatures continue to go down. By Sunday and Monday, weather got the memo that it's officially winter. Highs will only be about 41 degrees.
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're going to start outside I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. This is courtesy of a live cam network. You can see those foggy conditions, and the visibility is very low this morning. We also have the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the roadways this morning. Kelsey Coffey, photographer Mark Alexa, giving you a live look at the conditions on 401 South this morning. You can see the foggy conditions in the distance. Visibility limited as well. Make sure you're leaving the house a little sooner than usual. Watch your spacing, watch your speed as a result of these foggy conditions as we come back here live into the WRAL Traffic Center. We've got a couple of things that we want to bring your attention to, really, because you see the foggy conditions where it's most dense. It's in the red and orange shaded areas. Triangle and all points south and east this morning. A couple of things that we want to bring your attention to as we continue to watch what's going on here in the WRAL Traffic Center. There was this crash on a disabled vehicle, I should say, on I-40 eastbound near South Saunders Street, not causing any problems in that particular area, but we are seeing a little bit of a delay behind that disabled vehicle. I'll keep an eye on that and let you know how much is going to continue to affect your morning commute. This crash on Falls of News Road in the southbound lanes near Litchford Ford Road, not causing any problems for you there, but we'll, of course, keep an eye on it. Things are really beginning to ramp up this morning as people get ready to head out. Here's what you're looking at in terms of drive times and delay times coming into the capital city. The real troubled spot is Wake Forest. You're coming in from Wake Forest, you're looking at an 8-minute delay on US 1. You're getting ready to head out this morning. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
All right, thank you, Ken. A new lawsuit has been filed in the mass shooting in Raleigh's Hedingham neighborhood. The security company hired to patrol the neighborhood is now countersuing the Homeowners Association. Court documents show that Capitol Special Police claim that it was the HOA's responsibility to keep residents safe. Capitol Special Police had one officer on patrol on October 13th of 2022. That's the day the shooting took place. Victims, families, and survivors are already suing the HOA and the Capitol Special Police. The accused shooter is set to appear in court next year.
Today, authorities in Hoke County are working to find a man who tried to kidnap a girl from a busy Walmart parking lot. A mother says the man tried to grab her daughter as they were getting into their car outside the Walmart in Rayford. The mother says she was able to pull her daughter away from that man. The guy ran off, and shoppers we talked with say this is a good reminder to be aware of your surroundings.
I think it's really terrible, you know, and I think safety is really important, and especially around the holidays.
Hope County Sheriff's Office asks anyone who may have information about what happened to step forward.
Today, Governor Roy Cooper will deliver his farewell address. Cooper will be in his home county, Nash County, for the speech. It's happening at 11 o'clock this morning at Nash County Community College in Rocky Mount. This will be the final of a series of events reflecting on Cooper's 8 years in office.
Governor-elect Josh Stein has named more members to his cabinet. He'll keep Governor Roy Cooper's head of public safety, Eddie Buffalo. With an ongoing disaster response to Helene, Stein said now is not the time to shake up the emergency response leadership. Stein is making changes in the Commerce Department, though, selecting Lee Lilly to lead the effort to recruit new businesses. Lilly previously led North Carolina's post-COVID recovery. For the full list of his selections, you can go to the NC Capital section of WRAL.com.
A recent drug bust in Edgecombe County is putting the spotlight on the prevalence of fentanyl. Authorities say they found fentanyl pills in the septic system after executing a search warrant at a home in Tarboro. Mounted Council is facing charges for both possession and sale of fentanyl and heroin. Paramedics say they have seen an increase in heroin in the street drug supply over the last 3 months.
Heroin was not really a substance that had been on our radar for a good while. And just recently, like this summer and even this fall, we've seen quite a bit of heroin, mixed into the opioid supply.
Counsel was given a $300,000 secured bond and remains in the Edgecombe County Detention Center.
Police say the investigation into accused Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann is far from over. Heuermann was charged yesterday with the murder of Valerie Mack. Mack was killed in 2000. Heuermann has now been charged in the murders of 7 women. He's pleaded not guilty to charges for the murders of 4 of the women known as the Gilgo Four, and that includes North Carolina native Amber Costello.
New this morning, a man is in Russian custody in connection with the killing of a senior general. Russia's Federal Security Service says it has a 29-year-old man from Uzbekistan detained after the death of General Igor Kirillov. He was the head of Russia's nuclear and chemical forces. He and his assistant were killed yesterday when a bomb in an electric scooter detonated outside of his Moscow apartment building. Ukraine has claimed responsibility for the attack. It says that Kirillov authorized the use of banned chemical weapons during its invasion.
Another delay for 2 NASA astronauts stuck on the International Space Station. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore have been in space since June. Their stay was supposed to last a week to 10 days, but there was a problem with the Boeing Starliner that brought them there. And this latest launch was supposed to happen in February, but it's being pushed back now until March.
Firefighters in California worked to control a fire that ripped through a Los Angeles carport late last night. The fire quickly spread to a nearby apartment complex. At least 5 vehicles became fully engulfed in flames. Several lithium batteries also caught fire. It is unknown if everyone was able to get out of that building or how that fire began. 2
Asheville artists are creating again after the devastation left behind from Helene. For one, years of his life were destroyed when his old studio was destroyed in that storm, and another artist is creating art from the storm's debris. He found this window and etched a new story. The two men are among a collection of artists commissioned to create work on the evolution of basketball. It was a much needed distraction and an excuse to create again.
And I needed an escape from all that's going on here. Although things are changing and going great, I wanted something to absorb myself into.
He said he just couldn't bring himself to paint until this exhibit. Today's the last day of that Art with Air exhibit. It's at the McColl Center in Charlotte.
The WRAL and the Salvation Army have teamed up once again to ensure local children have warm clothing this winter. The annual WRAL Coats for the Children Telethon is this Friday. Things kick off at 6 a.m. and continue throughout the day with a special at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. on WRAL.
Well, there's a new multi-millionaire in North Carolina. We have a look at the growing Mega Millions jackpot and last night's numbers, just in case you won a smaller prize.
And we are still under that dense fog advisory for much of the area. This is a live look over southeast Wake County. We'll check back in with meteorologist Chris Michaels on how long the low visibility will stick around.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We are under a dense fog advisory. You could barely see anything at Dix Park behind me. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is outside on the WRAL weather patio, and it's foggy everywhere, Chris.
It really is, yeah. Starting to see the sun trying to poke through to my right, but you look live at Apex where the fog has slowly taken over. That advisory, by the way, in effect until 10 a.m. It may take until a little bit after that for the fog to completely clear out. Once it does so, that's when temperatures really start to rise, and we see a high temperature of 70 degrees. It'll be a nice afternoon to take the dog for a walk before showers move in, and temperatures start to drop off as well. We'll look slightly beyond that 7-day toward Christmas Day. That's coming up over on Fox 50.
And Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're going to start right outside, courtesy of a live cam network. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see all the fog that's in that area. You can barely make out the traffic down there. And this is what it looks like on our live traffic map this morning. You can see where the fog is most dense in the red and orange shaded areas to all points of Raleigh and all points east and south of the triangle and surrounding communities. Here's what your drive times look like because of these foggy conditions. We got 8 minutes coming in from Wake Forest this morning. That's really the only troubled spot to speak of. Of course, I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Thanks, Ken. A man is dead after a shooting late last night in Durham. It happened around 11 p.m. on South Roxborough Street. We are working to learn if police have anyone in custody related to that shooting. Coming up next on Fox 50, we are under that dense fog advisory this morning where you'll have low visibility and a live look around the area. And up next on Today, Nate Barthgate on his Netflix comedy special.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, a man is dead after a shooting in Durham. What we have learned from investigators on that scene who've been there since 11 o'clock last night.
And we continue this morning with a dense fog advisory. That's in effect until 10 a.m. I'll show you when this finally starts to improve coming up.
And tracking your foggy morning commute, this is a live look at southern Wake County. Thanks to the WRAL Storm Tracker, we'll tell you the areas to avoid as visibility, as you can see, it's limited this morning.
It is a holiday shipping rush. If you've waited until this point now to ship those packages, we have you covered. We'll break down the deadlines by companies so you can get those gifts off to loved ones in time so you don't get on that naughty list with friends and family.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying with us here. You're already on it. 8:30
Yes.
is the time. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, I'm trying to get off of it, so
Okay.
I probably should, finish the shopping and get to USPS and UPS and all those stores. We'll tell you all about it coming up. First, we have to talk about this fog, the dense fog advisory. Meteorologist Chris Michaels on the weather patio for us. A live look over Apex, and even behind you in the gardens, you can see the fog.
Yeah, right behind the gardens. You can't miss it. It's like pretty much in our back parking lot here. But yeah, Apex starting to see the fog. The temperature and the dew point very close. That means that the air is saturated. In fact, at times I can see my own breath here on the WRAL weather patio. You can see really that milky appearance from Raleigh southward. That's that blanket of fog. If you were to go farther to the north, you wouldn't necessarily come into contact with that. So very slowly over the next 2 hours or so, we'll start to see that fog bank dissipating. In fact, I can kind of see the sunshine breaking out to my right over here. Hour by hour, it's going to take some time for temperatures to rise, of course, because of the fog. But once we get rid of it, all bets are off. High temperatures today near 70 degrees yet again. So a very spring-like feel to the afternoon today, but winter reclaiming its time this weekend. I'll show you if that sticks around through Christmas Day coming up in just a bit.
Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, courtesy of a live cam network. We're showing you what that dense fog looked like out there. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. It's beginning to lift just a little bit, but off in the distance, you can barely make out some of the vehicles. We do have the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the roadways this morning. Kelsey Coffey, photographer Mark Alexic, giving us a closer look at what we can expect if you're in southern Wake County, Kelsey.
Yes, Ken, right now we are on 401 northbound in Fuquay Arena, so we'll give you a live look now at road conditions so you can just see that thick fog just lingering in the air. We've seen a lot of fog here in Fuquay, Garner, as well as downtown Raleigh. We saw a lot of fog near Dix Park, so something that we've been tracking throughout the morning. And be sure just to be careful on your morning drive, as this is going to impact your visibility this morning. So, Ken, what else can you tell folks before they head out the door?
Yeah, really and truly, as we come back live into the WRAL Traffic Center, just watch your spacing. Definitely leave the house a little sooner than usual. As you can see, the fog is most dense in the red and orange shaded areas. We do want to tell you about a couple of instances. This crash on Lewisburg Road in the northbound lane and Perry Creek Road. We're not seeing any major delays in that particular area, but again, just watch for that police activity as you navigate your way around Lewisburg Road this morning. In terms of the drive times coming into the capital city, this is what we're really looking at. Friends in Wake Forest, you need to add about 10 minutes to your drive time this morning just to be on the safe side. If you're getting ready to head out, you know what to do. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
All right, thank you, Ken. Starting this morning, your commute to downtown Raleigh is getting easier at midnight. The ramp from I-440 west to Wade Avenue into the city finally opened again. Take a look at this map. You'll see exactly where that new ramp is located. Drivers will now be able to take this Wade Avenue exit for the first time in years. This is part of the ongoing 440 widening project. The project will add lanes to improve traffic flow from south of Walnut Street in Cary to north of Wade in Raleigh. When complete, there will be 3 lanes in each direction, east and west, and 3 new bridges. At last check, the entire 440 widening project is set to be complete by next fall.
People in Madison, Wisconsin are coming together to honor a teacher and student who were killed in Monday's school shooting. Hundreds gathered at the Wisconsin Capitol building to pray for the victims and to comfort one another. We are learning more about the 15-year-old Natalie Ruppnow, who police say committed the shooting. Police say they think bullying may have been a factor. They're also looking into her online activity. Authorities confirm they're aware of a document circulating online that some people are calling the shooter's manifesto. They say they can't verify that document just yet, but police do not believe the shooter targeted any specific people. 2 students who were hurt remain in critical condition. We also now know a 17-year-old is dead after a shooting late last night in Durham. We just got that update in the last 5 minutes. This all happened around 11 p.m. on South Roxborough Street. Police are still on that scene. We are working to learn if police have anyone in custody related to this shooting.
Jurors will be back in court this morning to deliberate the fate of a Raleigh store owner accused of murdering a customer. Yesterday, jurors wanted to get another look at the surveillance video. They also asked the judge if Tazir Zarqa, the store owner, had a right to search Mark Garrity's bag. Zarqa claims that Garrity was trying to steal a Gatorade.
The Mega Millions jackpot is growing once again. It is now $825 million for Friday night's drawing. Someone from North Carolina, though, is already a big winner. A ticket sold in our state is worth $4 million after last night's drawing. The numbers were 56, 66, 67, 68, 69. Who would pick that? The Mega Ball was 18, the Mega Plier was 4. So just check your tickets. Someone in our state matched all 5 white balls and played the Mega Plier to win that $4 million prize. You can watch the next Mega Millions drawing Friday night at 11 o'clock on WRAL.
I wish I picked those numbers.
Right? Yeah.
Well, today the Federal Reserve may choose to cut the interest rate one more time. Fed Chair Jerome Powell will announce the decision at 2:30 this afternoon. This would be the 3rd interest rate cut of 2024. In recent months, the average price gains have stayed elevated. According to the Labor Department, consumer prices jumped up nearly 3% for the 12 months ending in November.
Renee Chu here in the WRAL Live Center. We will be keeping an eye on the Dow today as it is on its worst losing streak since 1978. That was when Jimmy Carter was president. So reaction to the Fed Reserve announcement will be key. It is heading into its 9th straight down day, and the Dow hasn't had a losing streak of 10 days or more in 50 years. Shares of United Health have been the biggest drag on the index. Let's give you a look at the Dow futures. Looking optimistic. It's in the green, up 175 points. We'll see what happens when the markets open in an hour.
All right. Thanks, Renee. We will keep an eye on the Fed meeting today. Tune into our newscast from 4 to 7:30 this evening for updates about a possible interest rate cut and what it means for you.
In Wilson, police have obtained new warrants in a murder investigation. Officers are looking for Delexis Williams. Another suspect, Kayla Armstrong, turned herself in. She was given no bond. Police are investigating a December 10th murder on Tarboro Street. Joshua Chandler was found dead there. This investigation continues.
President Joe Biden says his administration is looking closely into the drone sightings across the Northeast, but he assures there is nothing to indicate they are dangerous. FBI and Department of Homeland Security officials say some of the reported sightings have actually been airplanes and not drones. They say the drones that remain unexplained do not pose a security threat and are not from foreign adversaries. Some elected officials say there needs to be a better explanation.
This is real, and so I am terribly concerned. We are pressing, and I'm looking for much better answers from the federal government than what I've been getting.
And some lawmakers are requesting a security briefing from Homeland Security about the thousands of reported sightings.
All right, it's almost creeped into the 7-day forecast. We are just a week away from Christmas. Time is running out to mail your packages. If you're sending out a package through the U.S. Postal Service, today's the deadline for local packages if you want them to arrive by Christmas. Tomorrow's the last day for packages sent through Priority Mail. And if you're a last-minute shopper, you can ship Priority Mail Express through Saturday. Be prepared to pay extra for that. Next up is UPS. Tomorrow, the last day for the UPS 3-day select service. December 23rd is the last day for next day air service. And finally, FedEx, the last day for FedEx Express 3-day services tomorrow. December 23rd, also the last day for those overnight services.
WRAL's 5 on Your Side tested which shipping company is the fastest this holiday season. Keely Arthur shipped the same 3 items to her sister in Arizona, and she then went to the post office, UPS, and FedEx. UPS cost $18.34, FedEx cost $30.47, and the USPS cost $13.09. They all made it to Arizona, but not all at the promised time. That's her sister there. FedEx showed up a day early, UPS was a day behind, and USPS, that showed up 4 days behind schedule.
The stowaway heads to court. Why the woman accused of sneaking out of the country twice says she had to get out.
And legends unite in a new Karate Kid movie. We have a first look at the characters from the original movie and the remake that will train a new student in the martial art.
Give you a live look right now. This is Fayetteville, and the countdown to Christmas continues 7 days away. Meteorologist Chris Michaels explains the newest data looking ahead to the holidays' weather in North Carolina.
Welcome back. 8:43 on your Wednesday morning as you look live over downtown Cary Park. You're watching WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device. It's foggy out there this morning. We are all under that dense fog advisory. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is tracking that very closely and is going to tell us how long this fog is going to stick around, Chris.
You know, the dense fog advisory is in effect until 10 a.m., but some of us aren't going to get rid of it until about 11 o'clock in the morning. I do think we slowly see some breaks in areas like North Hills, and even outside here at the TV station, you can kind of see the sun coming in from the right. So there's some signs of improvement. Temperature at about 50 degrees at the airport. At the airport, though, the visibility isn't as bad. So it is a little localized in Wake County, but it's rough in parts of Cumberland and Sampson counties, where it'll probably take until 11, if not 11:30, for the fog to clear out. So temperatures are slow to rise because of that, but once we get rid of the fog, we see high temperatures near 70 this afternoon. Even heading into the evening, it's going to be mild as we see clouds, we see a southwest breeze, and we see some showers out there. Here's 7 p.m. on Futurecast. You see a cold front to the west that's going to team up with our warmth and humidity, get more showers and storms going, especially south and east of the triangle, through about 1 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow morning's commute's going to be a lot smoother than this morning, but we're going to hang on to the clouds for a decent chunk of time on Thursday. Overall, that front is pretty low impact. That's why we've got the green there. Slightly higher impact with the front that comes in this weekend because it's going to drop temperatures by a lot. That's fitting for the first day of winter, which is Saturday. That begins at 4:20 in the morning. Sunday and Monday are going to be really cold. But the jet stream, that blue arrow, that's going to drift off toward the north. That means the coldest air for snow is going to be in the northern U.S. as well. Here, we'll keep dreaming this time around. 7-day forecast today, we're near 70 degrees. Tomorrow, temperatures from morning to afternoon, they'll be in the 50s. But by Friday and Saturday mornings, we'll go from the 30s to then the 50s Friday afternoon. 40 Saturday afternoon. Look at Sunday and Monday. Despite sunshine, highs only in the low 40s, and it looks like Santa Claus is struggling there going down the chimney. We're not going to struggle with the weather, though. Temperatures will be in the 40s by the afternoon.
Very nice. All right, Chris, thanks. A Wake County woman is recovering after being stabbed at a Holly Springs hotel. This is Traviana Dixon. She was stabbed last week while working at the Holiday Inn Express on Collins Crossing Road. Dixon's close friend, Brittany Forellis, talks about what happened. She says Dixon works part-time at the hotel. She had just gotten there for her shift when a man stepped off the elevator and stabbed her in the back.
Your heart breaks for somebody to go through that, and it was very serious. She was on life support for a day, so it was not just like a minor cut. It was pretty serious.
Michael Deloach was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Forella says Dixon has a long road ahead of her with many doctors and therapy appointments. Friends have started a GoFundMe with medical expenses to help with that, and you can find a link to it on WRAL.com.
Police in Chapel Hill are investigating an accident involving a transit bus. The bus crashed on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard near Umstead Drive yesterday afternoon. Investigators say the driver actually got off the bus and the bus rolled toward Umstead. The driver is on leave. Only one person was hurt. It's not clear why the bus driver exited that bus.
Officers are investigating a chase that started on I-40 and ended with a crash. Deputies tried to stop a motorcycle for speeding on I-40 near US 1. This was around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. When the driver didn't stop, deputies chased that motorcycle to Briar Creek Parkway and Arnold Palmer Drive, and that's when the motorcycle crashed. The driver was taken into custody. Charges are pending.
President-elect Donald Trump has chosen Herschel Walker to be the ambassador to the Bahamas. Trump previously backed Walker for the 2022 Senate race in Georgia. Walker lost that race to Democrat Raphael Warnock. Walker will need to be confirmed by a simple majority in the Senate.
The woman who accused Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is expected to undergo a voluntary polygraph test today. That's according to her lawyers. This comes after NBC found inconsistencies in her account after an exclusive interview. The now 38-year-old mother from Alabama is standing by her claims. However, Jay-Z says her inconsistencies prove her attorney filed a complaint in the pursuit of money and fame.
New this morning, Indiana has executed a death row inmate for the first time in 15 years. Joseph Corcoran was pronounced dead at 12:44 this morning after a lethal injection. Corcoran had been in prison since 1997. He was convicted of murdering 4 people. An appeal of his execution to the U.S. Supreme Court was denied yesterday. Advocates for Corcoran say that he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and was not aware of what was happening to him.
The woman accused of stowing away on a flight from New York to Paris got arrested again this week, trying to sneak from the U.S. into Canada. She claims she's a victim of human trafficking. Svetlana Dali was in a Buffalo courtroom yesterday. She was arrested right at the U.S.-Canada border there Monday. She gave several statements during her court hearing saying she's been trafficked and poisoned. The judge ordered U.S. Marshals to transfer her back to New York City so she can get on with her stowaway incident trial.
Holiday travel expected to ramp up beginning tomorrow. The Transportation Safety Administration expects to screen 40 million people between tomorrow and January 2nd. That's a 6.2% increase compared to last year when 37 million people were screened. TSA says it's prepared to handle the busy volumes. The busiest travel days are expected to be this Friday, next Friday, and Monday, December 30th. The administration predicts that 2.8 million people will go through airport security checkpoints nationwide on each of those days.
It's been more than a year now since wildfires devastated much of Lahaina, Hawaii. Now there's a push for the National Park Service to designate it as a National Heritage Area. The bill was introduced by two of Hawaii's lawmakers. It has passed both the U.S. and House, Senate, and U.S. House and Senate, and it now heads to President Biden's desk. Senator Mazie Hirono says that after the fire, there was renewed focus on how special Lahaina is to Maui, the community there, to Hawaii, and to the country in general. This could be the first national heritage area for Hawaii.
The Holly Springs Town Council has voted to approve a new school. It's the Pine Springs Holly Springs Business Park Unit Development Project. Pine Springs will be a K-8 preparatory academy charter school.
If you and your family are interested in seeing A Christmas Carol at the DPAC, a digital lottery is now open for that show. It's Ira David Wood III's musical comedy adaptation of the holiday classic with some changes this year. It takes the stage for the first time tonight and runs through Sunday. The lottery is open from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. the day before each performance. You can get more information on DPAC's website.
Tom Cruise is receiving a real-life military honor for his on-screen roles. Douglas Hyde explains in the Hollywood Minute.
Tom Cruise was a naval hero in the Top Gun films, and now he's one in real life, too. The U.S. Navy just gave him its highest civilian honor, the Department of the Navy Distinguished Public Service Award. The Navy praised his work on screen, saying it inspired generations to serve in the Navy and Marine Corps.
Lee means to me what you meant to Sensei Miyake.
Are you ready for a new Karate Kid movie? If the answer is yes, Sensei, then you're in luck. Ralph Macchio, the original Karate Kid, and Jackie Chan, who is in the 2010 remake, star in Karate Kid Legends. This time, the two sensei join forces to train a young, struggling Chinese immigrant to compete in a karate tournament. Karate Kid Legends hits theaters in May.
We're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
Beverly Hills Cop, Dirty Dancing, and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan will now be preserved for future generations to enjoy. The 80s classics are among the 25 titles added this year to the Library of Congress's National Film Registry, which preserves movies of cultural significance. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
And that song is going to be stuck in my head all day. It's a good one. Heads up, parents. A TV series that is a favorite among kids is getting its own full-length movie. An animated Bluey film featuring the Healer family will hit theaters in 2027. The show originally aired in Australia before it was picked up by Disney+. Bluey is the most watched kids show of 2023 and 2024 across platforms.
The winner of this year's Pop-Tarts Bowl won't have trouble making breakfast the day after the game. The winning college football team will get a trophy, which doubles as a working toaster. It is the Pop-Tarts Bowl, after all. Features the 13th-ranked Miami Hurricanes against the 18th-ranked Iowa State Cyclones. It's happening December 28th at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, and you can watch it on ESPN. Before we head off the break, that's great, isn't it? Here are the winning lottery numbers on your screen right now. We'll get another check of weather and traffic for you next.